Hello all, Accionoctem here with another Guild Wars 2 lore video. In honor of Halloween and the current living story, I'm going to talk to you about the lore behind Mad King Thorn and his very screwed up family. Now he was a human king that ruled Crita during the 9th century AE, and he was known for his cruelty and murderous tendencies. As an adolescent, he aided in the death of two of his noble friends, Serene, whose horse he fed hot peppers to. This caused the animal intense pain and led to it trampling her to death. And his friend Samson, whom died to a giant worm while Thorn fled and abandoned him. He then murdered his older brother, Prince Thorn, by tricking him into being devoured by a giant spider. He then murdered his own father. He took Awen's betrothed, Lyrica, as his own wife. Prior to marrying her, however, he murdered her servant, Tina, by beating her to death in an alley. After marrying Lady Lyrica, he had her assassinated. His reign as king was brutal, though short. His first act as king was to have Lord Humphrey Farron executed for accusing him of murdering his father. He declared all traitors to be punished without delay, and when famine and drought struck his kingdom, his exceptionally high taxes led some peasants to resort to theft to try to avoid starvation. Thorn then cut the hands off of any citizen that was even remotely suspected of theft. He kidnapped the father of the Astani princess Zola in order to ransom him for her hand in marriage. He then had her executed after growing tired of her. This resulted in a war between Crita and Istan, where Crita was of course victorious. Now Thorn had a total of 8 wives. All of them met untimely ends, though exact records don't exist for all of them. One of his wives, Estrella, was murdered when Thorn put her in a coffin filled with rats and then dumped it into the sea. He beheaded another wife on the birthday of their son, Prince Edric. Edric went on to kill yet another of his father's wives by the name of Henrietta. He nailed her hands to a drake during a game much like Pin the Tail on the Donkey. King Thorn, however, felt that his son Edric was a disappointment, so he stuffed his son's mouth with candy corn and locked him in a chest referred to as the Shell of Insanity. Edric is now known as the Bloody Prince Thorn, and if you are all currently playing, you should be aware that's the living story right now. And this is the first year that he's made his debut. Not much was known about his past. Actually, nothing at all was known prior to this year, because his father removed all knowledge of him from history. It's safe to say now that he was every bit as insane as his father. We know now that King Thorn threw him into a dungeon at the age of 20. He escaped and then bit off the guards' tongues to ensure that they would not tell his father. After escaping, he burned down the village of Pelchalis and killed 600 villagers. Rumor is that he did so in an attempt to incite the populace against his father so that he could take over the throne. This is what caused King Thorn to imprison Edric in the Shell of Insanity, where he then starved to death. Shortly thereafter, around 825 AE, an angry mob stormed the Thorn Castle, killing King Thorn, his current wife, and his remaining son. The mob hid his body parts in boxes and buried them throughout Tyria with magic seals to try to prevent him from using magic to return. These seals do prevent him from returning, except at Halloween when the borders are a little hazy. King Thorn rose to power in the underworld and acquired his own sub-realm, which you can currently go to. It's the realm of Mad King Thorn, filled with plastic spiders and candy corn elementals and nasty Halloween stuff. Following the breaking of a seal due to the ascension of Queen Salma to the throne, his followers, known as the Lunatic Court, dedicated their resources to trying to break the rest of the remaining seals so that Mad King Thorn could return permanently to our realm. They were only successful in returning his steed, Mr. Gumdrops, to our realm. Now the horse is only present in Guild Wars 1, and oddly enough it's invisible. After their failure to break the seals, the Mad King ceased coming to our realm at all for over 200 years. And that lines up perfectly with the break between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. During that time, his story became a folklore, and most people did not believe in it. His tale was used to frighten children during Halloween. But in the year 1325 AE, the first year of Guild Wars 2, Mad King Thorn returned. He shattered the Lion Fountain in Lion's Arch, and resumed assaulting the citizens and players with his terrible pranks and jokes. Magister Tassi and the player heroes ventured into his realm and defeated him for yet another year. It's already clear in game that he will indeed be back in full force this year, as well as his son, whom has already made his appearance in our realm. Now I just want to remind you to please like this video if you found it helpful or just enjoyed watching it, and remember to subscribe to my channel where there will be plenty more Guild Wars 2 videos to come. Thanks for watching!